This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear a phone call between a woman and a receptionist of a sports center. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer question 1 to 6.
Good afternoon, Southfield Sports Centre. You're speaking with Daniel. How can I assist you?
Hi Daniel, my name's Priya Sharma. I'm moving to the area next week and I'm interested in joining a gym. I came across your center online and wanted to get more information about your membership options.
Absolutely, Priya. Welcome in advance. We've got a range of membership plans depending on how often you plan to use the facilities and what services you're interested in. Are you mainly looking for gym access, or would you also like classes, swimming or other facilities?
Mainly gym access and swimming. I'm also interested in yoga or Pilates, but not every day.
Great, that helps. Our standard membership gives you unlimited access to the gym and swimming pool and includes up to 3 fitness classes per week. That might be a good fit for you.
That does sound good. How much is the standard membership?
It's £38 per month and there's a £25 one-time joining fee. If you pay annually, it's £400, so you save a bit compared to the monthly rate.
Got it. Is there a contract?
There's a 3-month minimum term, and after that it's a rolling monthly contract. You can cancel any time with 30 days notice.
Okay. And what are your opening hours?
We open at 6:30 a.m. on weekdays and close at 10 p.m. on weekends. We're open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The swimming pool closes 30 minutes before the main center.
That works for me. I'm usually free in the mornings. Do you offer personal training?
Yes, we do. We have several certified trainers. One-on-one sessions are £28 per hour, and we also have small group training up to 4 people for £15 per person. Some of our memberships include discounted training packages.
I might look into that later. How about lockers and parking?
Lockers are available free of charge. Just bring your own padlock, or, you can buy one at the front desk for £3. As for parking, we have a members-only car park with 80 spaces. It's free while you're using the facilities, but you will need a membership tag.
Good to know. And where exactly are you located?
We're on Grange Road, just across from the Southfield Community Library. It's about a 10-minute walk from the train station, and there's a bus stop right outside.
That's really convenient.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
What documents do I need to bring when I come to register?
Just an ID and proof of address, something like a utility bill or a rental agreement. You can also register online and then bring your documents on your first visit to activate your membership.
Perfect. Do you offer a trial pass?
Yes, we do. You can book a 1-day trial for £5 and that gets refunded if you decide to join on the same day. We also run Try It Tuesdays when local residents can try the centre for free. You just need to book in advance.
That's excellent. I'll try to come on a Tuesday. Are there any age limits or restrictions?
You must be at least 16 to use the gym facilities. Members under 18 need parental consent. We also offer special senior memberships for members over 60 with access to low-impact fitness classes.
Interesting. My dad is 62. He might be interested as well. How much is the senior membership?
It's £30 per month and includes everything the standard plan does, plus a weekly mobility or aqua fitness class.
Sounds perfect. Now, about the yoga and Pilates, you said 3 classes per week are included?
Yes, with the standard plan you get 3 per week. If you want unlimited classes, you'd upgrade to our premium plan, which is £50 per month.
I think I'll start with standard. Can I switch later?
Absolutely. You can upgrade or downgrade at any time with a 7-day notice.
Great. What about guest passes? I have a cousin visiting in a few weeks.
We do offer guest passes, £7 for the day. They give full access to the gym and pool, but not to fitness classes unless there's space available.
Got it. Do you provide any health assessments or consultations?
Yes, new members get a free fitness assessment during their first week. It includes a health questionnaire, basic fitness tests, and goal setting with a trainer.
That's helpful. I want to set realistic goals this time.
That's what we're here for. We also send monthly progress updates via your member app.
You have an app?
Yes, the Southfield Sports app lets you book classes, track your workouts, set reminders, and even view your attendance and payments. It's available for both Android and iOS.
Very modern. I assume payments are through the app as well?
Yes, you can set up auto payment, make one-time payments, or even freeze your membership if you're traveling.
Freeze the membership?
Yes, you can freeze it for up to 2 months per year. You won't be charged during that time, and you'll keep your spot and login.
That's really useful. Can I get a tour before joining?
Certainly, we do tours every hour between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays and from 10 to 4 on weekends. You can just drop in or book a slot online.
Perfect. I think I'll book one for next Friday.
No problem. I'll reserve a 10 a.m. slot for you.
Thanks so much for all the help, Daniel.
My pleasure, Priya. We hope to see you next week.
You will. Bye.
Bye! Oh, one last thing. Don't forget to bring a towel and water bottle when you come for your workout. We have water stations around the gym, and towels aren't provided for hygiene reasons.
Good to know. I'll make sure to bring my own. Thanks again.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. You will hear a manager briefing a group of volunteers about the history of the Greenwood Wildlife Sanctuary and their roles. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello, and welcome to the Greenwood Wildlife Sanctuary. I'm Sophie Randall, the Volunteer Program Manager, and I'll be leading your orientation today. First, thank you all for joining. We rely on volunteers like you to care for the animals, maintain the site, and engage with the public. The sanctuary was founded in 2004 on what used to be a stretch of farmland. Since then, we've grown into one of the region's leading wildlife rescue and rehabilitation centers. We've rescued over 2,000 animals in the last decade, including owls, foxes, hedgehogs, and even a few badgers. Our goal is always to return animals to the wild whenever possible. The sanctuary itself is divided into several key zones. The woodland recovery area houses our long-term animal patients, such as injured birds or animals recovering from surgery. The interactive education barn is where school groups come to learn about British wildlife, and the habitat trail is a walk-through area open to the public, with information signs and hidden wildlife viewing spots. As a volunteer, you may be placed in one of 4 teams. The first is the animal care team. These volunteers help clean enclosures, prepare food, and monitor animal behavior. Training is provided, and you'll never be expected to handle animals alone. The second team is the Visitor Engagement Team, which works mainly in the education barn and on the habitat trail. Your job will be to answer questions, explain exhibits, and help with children's activities during school visits. Some of you may join the facilities team, which helps with trail maintenance, gardening, and keeping the site clean and welcoming. It's physically active work, but always outdoors and rewarding. Finally, we have our admin support team, which helps in the office with booking systems, visitor feedback, and data entry. This is great for those who prefer indoor roles or have admin experience. Shifts are typically 4 hours long, and we ask volunteers to commit to at least 2 shifts per month. You'll receive a schedule by email and can request certain days or teams based on your availability. There's no official uniform, but you must wear your volunteer lanyard while on duty. Outdoor roles require waterproof shoes or boots, and we recommend bringing your own gloves and water bottle. Our biggest annual event is Wildlife Week, held in early July. Last year, we had over 4,500 visitors over the 5-day period. Volunteers played a major role in welcoming guests, running stalls, and giving short talks about our animals.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now that we've covered your duties, I'd like to share some insights from our latest visitor survey and what we're doing to improve both guest experience and conservation education. We received responses from over 350 visitors, and the first question focused on touchscreen information displays in the education barn. People liked having the option to learn through interactive technology, but several commented that the screens froze or were too slow to load. As a result, we're updating the software and adding printed backups at each station. We also asked about the adoption program, where guests can symbolically adopt an animal and receive photos, updates, and a small thank you gift. Feedback was extremely positive. Many visitors liked that their donation helped fund medical care and appreciated the personal connection to a specific animal. Some even said it was the highlight of their visit. Then there were comments on our guided wildlife walks, which are offered on weekends and led by experienced volunteers. While most feedback was glowing, a few visitors suggested limiting group sizes, saying large crowds made it hard to hear and disrupted the natural atmosphere. We are now capping these walks at 15 participants. We also inquired about the gift shop. Our current range includes wildlife-themed stationery, children's books, and eco-friendly souvenirs. While most visitors found the shop well-stocked, several requested more locally made products, especially crafts and small batch items. So, we've partnered with regional artisans to expand our offerings starting next month. Finally, outdoor accessibility came up often. While most of our paths are wheelchair-friendly, a few trails on the east side become muddy after rain. We've already begun laying gravel surfacing in those areas and will install new signage to mark easier routes. Thanks again for joining our team. After this, you'll head to your assigned teams for a tour and meet your supervisors. We look forward to working with each of you this season at Greenwood Wildlife Sanctuary.
That is the end of the part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. 2 university students, Leo and Hannah, are preparing a group presentation for their Education Studies course. The topic they've chosen is the impact of gamification in classrooms. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hey Leo, got time to go over our education studies project?
Yep, let's dive in. I finally got around to reading through the topics Professor Wilson suggested. Did you end up choosing one?
I think so. I really like the idea of doing something on gamification in education. It's current, there's lots of academic work on it, and it's used more and more in real classrooms.
Oh, nice. That was my favorite too. It blends psychology and education, and there are so many real-world applications, from elementary school to university-level learning.
Exactly. And I feel like we can break it down easily into 3 parts. What gamification is, how it's being used, and what results it's producing.
That's a good structure. So for the first section, basic definitions and background, I can handle that. I'll explain how it differs from game-based learning and how it evolved from corporate training programs.
Cool. Then for the third part, we can both talk about the outcomes, like engagement, motivation, and test performance. There's lots of debate on how effective gamification actually is.
Yeah, some studies say it improves focus and class participation, while others argue it's just a novelty and loses impact over time.
Exactly. That makes the discussion more balanced. Are we planning to include a theoretical framework?
Definitely. I was thinking self-determination theory. It explains how motivation works, especially the concepts of autonomy, competence, and relatedness.
Perfect. It's used a lot in gamification research. We should include a short explanation of it in the introduction and come back to it during the outcome section.
Agreed.
And visuals? For sure. I'll make some comparison graphs like student performance before and after gamification and maybe a pie chart showing survey responses from teachers.
I'll prepare a diagram to show how a reward-based system works in a classroom context, like badges, leaderboards, and challenges.
Also, are we including our own survey or sticking to secondary data?
We could design a short poll for undergraduates, maybe 5 quick questions about their experience with gamified apps or lessons.
Good idea, but we'd need to get that out today to have results by the weekend. I'll draft the questions now and send them for your review.
Sounds great. Let's also make sure we're meeting the source requirement. Wilson said minimum 5 peer-reviewed articles, right?
Yep, and properly cited in APA 7th edition. I'll double-check that too. Last semester, I lost marks because I cited a website without including the retrieval date.
Oh, same here. Let's use a reference manager this time. Way less painful.
Agreed. So what's our timeline?
How about draft sections by Thursday night, survey results by Saturday, then merge and edit Sunday?
That works.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
We can rehearse Monday afternoon.
Speaking of rehearsal, should we do it in person or just on Zoom?
Let's try Zoom first. That way we can record ourselves and spot any awkward parts.
Smart. And the presentation format, we're going with a clean slide deck, right?
Definitely. No animations, just bold titles, bullet points, and a few strong visuals. We should aim for no more than 10 slides.
Agreed. I'll use the university's branded PowerPoint template so it looks polished.
Awesome! For the introduction, I was thinking of starting with a question. Something like, have you ever earned a badge or points in class?
That's catchy and relatable. Then we could show a quick example, like Kahoot or Duolingo, and explain how these systems use rewards.
Nice. Then transition into the theory part before moving into real classroom cases.
And in the conclusion, we should acknowledge both sides. Mention that while gamification shows promise, it's not a universal solution.
Right. We could end with a short summary and maybe even a reflective question like, is gamification changing the way we learn or just distracting us?
Ooh, I like that. Gets the audience thinking. Oh, and don't forget, we need to prepare for the conda. Professor Wilson loves follow-up questions.
I know. Someone will probably ask whether gamification works better for younger kids or older students.
Or whether it creates unhealthy competition. We should make a list of anticipated questions and prepare responses.
Agreed. I'll write a few down tonight. Also, let's not forget to cite the visuals, even the ones we create ourselves.
Good reminder. I'll add image source footnotes on all my slides.
This is shaping up really well. I feel a lot more confident now.
Me too. Let's meet again Thursday morning to touch base.
Perfect. I'll bring the latest version of the slides and we can run through timing, transitions and the survey results if they're ready.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for being so organized, by the way.
Team effort, let's ace this one.
That is the end of the part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. You will hear a seminar about the history of human settlements. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Listen and answer question 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's lecture focuses on the origins of human settlements, how and why early humans transitioned from a nomadic lifestyle to permanent communities. This shift fundamentally changed the structure of human society and laid the groundwork for agriculture, trade, and urban development. For most of human history, people lived as hunter-gatherers. These small, mobile groups followed seasonal food sources, hunting wild animals and collecting fruits, nuts, and roots. Because resources were unpredictable and perishable, mobility was essential, tools were simple, and shelters were temporary. This way of life persisted for tens of thousands of years until a profound transformation occurred around 12,000 years ago. That transformation was the Neolithic Revolution, also known as the Agricultural Revolution. During this period, humans began cultivating crops and domesticating animals. This marked the first time people produced their own food rather than relying solely on natural foraging. The earliest evidence of farming appears in the Fertile Crescent, a region in the Middle East stretching from modern-day Iraq through Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. Here, people began planting wheat and barley and raising animals like sheep and goats. One key factor that allowed this shift was climate change. At the end of the last ice age, temperatures stabilized, creating more predictable rainfall and longer growing seasons. These conditions made certain regions ideal for experimentation with plant cultivation. Over time, farming techniques improved, and people could produce food in surplus. This surplus reduced the need to move constantly in search of the resources. With stable food supplies, humans began to establish permanent settlements. This shift had wide-ranging consequences. For one, population density increased. As more people lived in one place, families grew larger, and communities became more complex. Villages began to appear, clusters of homes made of mud, stone, or clay, often near rivers, which provided both water and fertile land. Sedentary life also led to changes in social organization. In mobile groups, decision-making was often communal. In settled communities, however, roles became more specialized. Some individuals focused on farming, while others took up tool-making, pottery, or textile production. Over time, a division of labor emerged, which gave rise to social hierarchies. Those who controlled food storage or land became more powerful, leading to early forms of leadership and governance. Permanent settlements also fostered technological innovation. Pottery was developed for storing grains and liquids. New farming tools were invented, including plows and irrigation systems. As storage improved, people could plan for the future and survive seasonal shortages. Additionally, building techniques evolved and people constructed more durable homes and communal structures. One of the earliest and most studied settlements is Catalayuk, located in present-day Turkey. Dating back over 9,000 years, this site reveals a densely packed community with no streets. Homes were connected by rooftops, and people entered through ladders from above. The residents practiced farming and animal domestication, but also engaged in hunting and gathering. The presence of wall art and burial sites indicates a complex cultural and spiritual life. Settlements like Catalhoyuk paved the way for more advanced communities, eventually leading to cities. As trade developed, settlements located near rivers or coasts became central hubs. These places facilitated the exchange of goods such as food, tools, and pottery. Over time, trading centers evolved into towns and eventually cities, each with their own systems of administration, religion, and defense. The rise of urban settlements introduced new challenges. Waste disposal, water management, and public health became major concerns. With larger populations, the risk of disease outbreaks increased. At the same time, the need for coordination led to the formation of governing bodies and eventually legal systems. Writing systems began to emerge in some early cities, particularly for the purpose of record keeping. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians developed cuneiform, one of the earliest forms of writing, to track grain storage, land ownership, and trade transactions. Writing allowed for more complex administration and also preserved historical records, laws, and literature. While farming and trade were major drivers of settlement growth, religion also played a significant role. Many early communities constructed shrines or temples and held ceremonies to ensure good harvests or honor deities. Religious leaders often held considerable power and were sometimes responsible for resolving disputes or organizing labor for large public works. Another factor in the development of settlements was defense. As wealth accumulated in the form of crops or crafted goods, communities became targets for raiders. In response, people built walls, watchtowers, and gates. This led to the design of fortified towns, many of which would later evolve into cities with defined boundaries and protective structures. The growth of settlements wasn't uniform across the globe. In some regions, like parts of sub-Saharan Africa or the Arctic, nomadic lifestyles persisted for much longer due to environmental limitations or cultural preferences. However, in regions where agriculture flourished, permanent settlements became the norm and eventually gave rise to the civilization we study today.
That is the end of the part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.